and welcome to Yorkshire Voice TV on Thursday, May the 17th. I'm Lizzie McKellen.
And I'm Tyler Morell.
Here's what's making the news today. Rail passengers told not to panic about the East Coast mainline takeover.
There's fresh hope for 15-year-old Abby Longfellow in her quest for a new life-saving kidney.
And we find out how children cope with fasting during Ramadan.
And we're gearing up for the wedding of the year. The government has reassured passengers that nothing will change when it resumes control of the Virgin East Coast service next month.
The line runs from Scotland down to London along the eastern side of England and serves Hull, York, Harrogate and Leeds, among other Yorkshire destinations.
Commuters have been told their tickets will still be valid and journeys will be unaffected. I went down to Leeds station to talk to passengers about their concern. East Coast train line is to be put back in the public control after the merged venture between Stagecoach and Virgin lost an estimate of £200 million. From the 24th of June, the government will control the line and it will be run by the Department of Transport. This will be a provisional measure until a new public-private partnership can be appointed in 2020. I asked the public their opinion about the renationalised train line.
It should make it better, but that depends on the management of the company, doesn't it, really? So if the management's in place, it should work whether it's publicly owned or privately owned. So it's not about who owns it, it's about who runs it.
It's always a difficult one. From a public service point of view, I think there is value. I'm committed to public services, so I think it is better that government run public services rather than being a commercial business. However, the risk is that when they take this back, that we will take back a lot of debt and ultimately release all the assets back into the private sector, which in the long term, from a public purse point of view, is not so good, and actually from my point of view is detrimental to society and the taxpayer. So it depends what happens longer term.
Everything else that we've lost and that's been privatised far too much already, far too much. So no, I don't think it should be privatised whatsoever. It should stay with hands that people that have always owned it, British public, isn't it?
So you're saying it's a good thing that the government's now taking it back?
Yeah, definitely, yeah, without a shadow of a doubt.
If they're bringing it back to a government issue now, then depending on how they're going to put the money from it, if it's going to increase our taxes, then it's going to be more of an issue than it already was before, and it's only just gone downhill from the stage one.
The government have promised that everything will stay the same, regardless of the change of ownership. Tyler Morell for Yorkshire Voice.
Next, there is fresh hope that bin workers in Kirkleeds may cancel plans to strike after lengthy talks between Unison and Kirkleeds Council were held. The workers plan the action over allegations of bullying by management, not getting their holidays and problems with taking days off in lieu. The union Unison will now meet with its members this afternoon to discuss the proposals offered by the council. And now for some news in brief. A local MP is calling for schools to be given more funding to help students with stress. John Healy, MP for Wentworth and Dearne, wants schools to be better able to look after pupils' mental health during the stressful exam season.
A celebratory service will be held in York this evening to mark the completion of the Great East Window restoration. The window, which is 600 years old, is the largest expanse of medieval stained glass in the country. The 10-year-long project to restore it has just been completed, and a special choral evensong will be held tonight at 5:15 to thank all those who were involved.
And Whitby Beach has been awarded the internationally recognised Blue Flag by the Foundation for Environmental Education. The award recognises the beach for its high water quality, safety and services. The award is considered the gold standard for beaches, and Whitby is the only Yorkshire beach to achieve it.
A painting that was up for sale by Bradford's David Hockney has broken records at an auction in New York last night. The 1994 painting, Pacific Coast Highway in Santa Monica, has broken a previous record for a Hockney painting by raising £21 million.
Oh, I like a bit of that.
Now, a woman from Eden is using her sewing skills to raise awareness surrounding a very delicate subject.
Yes, Kimberly Swales, who suffered serious bowel problems after spinal surgery, is trying to help the 1 in 500 people like her in the UK who have to live with a colostomy bag. I went along to meet her.
They have a pocket that folds up to empty.
Kimberly Swales is on a mission to take the stigma out of stoma. She had surgery for her own permanent bag in December and started making fabric covers after feeling self-conscious. Instead of selling them, she has made hundreds from fabric donations, all down to a social media appeal.
I posted on Facebook groups, marketplaces on Facebook, and asked people if they would donate some fabric so I could make the covers and give them for free. Originally it was just for hospitals and hospice and nursing homes, but it's just gone global now.
Kimberly has already donated over 800 covers to both children and adults, but wants to make 20,000 in total. Her ultimate aim, though, to make people proud of their bodies.
I hope that by making the covers, people come forward. And I have had people come to me and say, can I have a cover, please? I'm afraid to go out, I'm afraid for my top riding up, I'm afraid to even go swimming. Don't be afraid. Wear a cover and show it off to the world. There's nothing to hide or be ashamed of at all.
Kimberly's covers have been posted as far as America. These, though, will be sent a little closer to home, the children's ward at Lincoln Hospital. Lizzie McKellen, Yorkshire Voice, Yeadon. Now, a school for children with disabilities and learning difficulties in Halifax has launched an appeal for vital funds to finish off a project to improve facilities for the youngsters. Ravenscliffe School in Calderdale is its only secondary school for pupils with special educational needs.
Katie Hazeldine went to find out more about their efforts to raise £100,000.
Cliff High School is a special school and sixth form for children with additional needs in Halifax. The school is currently oversubscribed and has recently launched a campaign appealing to raise £100,000 to finish the construction of their new building with facilities to accommodate the expanding number of pupils.
We've got a building that should only have 69 students in it, and we're now on 168 and we're projected to be 178 in September. And it's getting to a point where it's unsafe. We've had phenomenal support from the local, the wider community. Calderdale Council pledged £1.5 million back in 2011. They then topped it up with another 100,000 in September 2014. We as a community have raised over nearly 1.8 million on top of that. So this building gives us some extra facilities as well. Over there is a community cafe that will be staffed by our staff, and students will be part of the staffing team. And we're hoping that's going to lead into some employment opportunities in the catering industry for young people with learning difficulties as they develop their skills. Down at the bottom there, we've got an adapted bike store, so all our adapted cycling can take place on track. Just by opening a door, we can roll our bikes out onto the track. Students can be cycling every single day. And last Friday, we held our 25 years celebration event. We had about 1,100 people in the audience. And at that event, our staff choir from Ravenscliffe launched their Sound as a Pound campaign with a specially written song to generate 100,000 people through social media to say, I want to support this and I'll pledge £1.
The new building will have additional facilities, which means children can enjoy their favourite sports and activities more freely.
I enjoy playing football. I'm on the school's football team and I've got the best team ever. I'm kind of forward to get to making more independence from myself. And because I've talked to Mum about doing some independent travel, and she's always like, you can't go out on your own, you need, and I go with you all the time. And I think it might help me do that at Spring Hall, like it's helping me here a lot.
Anybody who wishes to donate towards the Sound as a Pound campaign can do so by going on the Ravenscliffe School website and Just Giving page. This is Katie Hazeldine reporting for the Yorkshire Voice.
Now, 15-year-old Abby Longfellow has been waiting for a kidney for the past 5 years after she was diagnosed with a rare kidney disease. Karen Piotra is from Donor Family Network and joins us now. And it is just worth saying that, unfortunately, Abby's dad couldn't be with us today because the family are trying to limit media appearances.
They are.
So can you give us a quick update on Abby and tell us how are things going at the minute?
Okay, well, Abby's dad, Andy, has been in contact with me and he said there's been a wonderful response to the media campaign that went out on Monday. And Leeds General Infirmary have had over 150 responses to the plea to try and help Abby and to try and find a liver match for her. So we've got our fingers crossed that one of them will be the right tissue and blood type for her.
Brilliant. And can you tell us a little bit more about what the Donor Family Network does, what your role is?
Yeah. So I'm a trustee for the Donor Family Network, and one of our roles is about increasing awareness of organ donation. Now, you may be familiar with the opt-out system that's currently in with the government at the moment. And so what we're trying to do is to educate people to talk about organ donation, to sign up to the organ donation register, but to also to talk about it. Don't be afraid to talk to your family. Sit down, have a cup of tea and talk about it.
So can I ask you, you've mentioned the opt-out. Can you just go in a bit more about that and tell us a bit more?
Yeah, so the opt-out system will basically mean that everybody will be available to donate their organs when they pass away, whereas at the moment you have to sign up to the register, and so there's only probably about 23 million people in this country that have signed up. So when the opt-out system hopefully comes in, we're not sure whether it will, everybody will be deemed to be on that register to give consent. Now that's all well and good, but what we're saying is have that conversation, because the loved ones, the next of kin, can still say no at that vital time. So in my circumstance, my husband and I were on the donor register, so I knew what his wishes were, and I had no hesitation in signing the organ donation consent form, and he's gone on to save 9 people's lives.
That's fantastic. So can you tell us a little bit more about that? Now, you lost him last year, is that right?
Last year, last May, 5th of May last year, yeah. And he had a brain aneurysm, a brain bleed, and he's gone on to help 9 people. 9 wonderful people are alive today.
What's that experience been like for you then? How did that feel?
Yeah, the experience is amazing. It's overwhelming to think there are 9 people, and it's not just the 9 individual people, of course. There'll be their husbands, their wives, their daughters, their aunties, uncles, their wider network of people. Even being a grandparent, I've had contact with the man who has my husband's liver, and he's a granddad now. Well, and that just fills me with pride and joy.
Thank you so much for coming in, Karen, and sharing your story. It truly is humbling. Thank you ever so much. Thank you. Now, today is the first day of Ramadan for all Muslims in the UK. The holy month sees Muslims not eating or drinking during daylight hours.
Our reporter Zohar Shah spoke to 12-year-old Mahidi Raza about how this affects his school life.
I am here with my little cousin. He's 12 years old and he's been fasting since 7 years, since he was 7 years old. And it's been 6 years since he's been fasting. So Mahdi, tell me, is the start of Ramadan tomorrow? How do you feel about that?
I feel quite happy, and I get another chance to see if I can do every single
fast every single day. And what about your friends? Do you have any friends in school?
Yeah, I've got 10 or 20 friends that they are going to fast as well. They're Muslim as well.
And do you get, of course, other students have lunch in break. Do you get tempted?
Yeah, because of the good smell and it's delicious. And I see all my other friends eat too, so I feel hungry as well.
It's 2:45 in the morning and we're getting the last bits of food we can while enjoy it to the fullest until sunset tomorrow, which is 8:52 p.m. This is Zohar Shah. Ramadan Mubarak to everyone from Yorkshire Voice.
Now, we've all been enjoying the lovely sunshine over the past few days, and with the approach of summer comes the usual influx of buzzing insects. And this year, we're being asked to keep our eyes and ears open more than usual for bees.
Yes, bees' vital pollination work accounts for 1/3 of all eaten food, yet the numbers of bees in Britain are thought to be in decline. Now, a national bee counting app has been released today, so the public can help log the British bee population by simply using their phones. I went to a local beehive to find out more.
Friends of the Earth have released a mobile application to help save the bee population.
It's a great idea that Friends of the Earth are doing. They want to find out how many pollinators are out there, which don't just include honeybees. I think there's in excess of 200 types of bee in the UK, and about 20 plus are communal bees like honeybees that have colonies. And finding out the state of the environment through pollinators can only be a good thing. It'll be interesting to see what they do with the data afterwards, because it's all right collecting this data, but what are they going to do? Are they going to talk to government? Are they going to talk to business? Are they going to educate the public? And if the answer to these questions is yes, then that's brilliant.
The Great British Bee Count helps members of the public identify different types of bees.
So when you're walking in the supermarket, you see cheap apples, you see cheap strawberries, you see cheap broccoli and cabbage. Honeybees and bees all help pollinate either the crop itself or the seeds that are needed to grow the plant. So you should be interested, you should care, and you should pay attention to what's going on in your local area and the environment around you.
With the launch of the new app, let's hope we can save the bees and the planet. Maisie Andrews-Garth, Yorkshire Voice.
And now over to Simon for the sport.
Rotherham United are into the League One player final at Wembley after they beat Scunthorpe 2-0 at home last night. Goals came from Richard Wood and Will Vaulks, which meant Rotherham won the tie 4-2 on aggregate. They will now face Shrewsbury Town at Wembley on May the 27th, and the winner will secure a spot in the Sky Bet Championship. In the FA Women's Premier League, Guiseley Vixens are in action tonight against champions Blackburn Rovers. Manager Glenn Preston says they will be treating the penultimate game of the season like a cup final as his side battles for league survival. The Women's Challenge Cup draw has been made and two huge Yorkshire derbies have been drawn. Castleford Tigers versus Bradford Bulls. The league leaders take on the reigning champions, and Leeds Rhinos taking on Wakefield Trinity. Fixtures are to take place on Sunday the 3rd of June, and it promises to be a huge first round and hopefully very entertaining as well. That's all for the sport. Back to Tyler and Lizzie.
Well, it seems there's only one thing on everybody's mind at the moment, and that's looking forward to the royal wedding between Prince Harry and Meghan Markle this weekend. We're going across live to Maisie Andrews-Garth, who wishes she was enjoying the sunshine, and is going to tell us what the weather's got in store for everyone preparing for the celebrations.
It's been slightly deceiving today, looking bright, but with an underlying breeze after quite a chilly start this morning, and the sun will be setting at approximately 9 p.m. this evening. Looking at tomorrow, the sunshine will be slightly hotter with highs of 17 degrees around the region, which is perfect to put up your royal wedding bunting. As there will be light winds throughout the day, and Saturday is looking up for Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's wedding at Windsor Castle with a beautiful 19 degrees around Yorkshire and a small chance of rain. Finally, towards the end of the weekend, the weather is looking cooler with a large chance of cloud and less brightness. It looks like the lovely weather will be staying out for the big day, so if you come out and enjoy the sunshine, that would be fantastic.
And it seems that all that royal wedding excitement has spread to Horsforth High Street. Maisie, who seems to have become our royal wedding correspondent, went to a bakery in town earlier today to see how wedding fever has spread to cake toppers.
Royal wedding fever has swept Britain. The country is turning red, white and blue to support Prince Harry and Meghan Markle.
Bride and groom classes that we run where we make like bride and groom little cake toppers. Everybody wanted to make them look like Harry and Meghan. Shall I show you one?
Zoe from Zoe's Fancy Cakes is feeling the buzz.
Yeah, so these are what we run like classes on, and usually people choose whatever colour, like hair and stuff. So the past couple of classes people have wanted to tie it in with a bit more royal wedding, so they don't look identical to them or anything, but they just thought, oh yeah, if we can make them look a little bit like then it's themed.
Join us on the show throughout the week to see more wedding coverage. Maisie Andrews-Garth, Yorkshire Voice.
That's it for today, but join us tomorrow at 4. Thanks for joining us. Bye-bye.
Bye.